Welcome into our lives.
And welcome to the Expanders Club podcast.
We're so happy to have you.
Join us as we embark on a journey of deep exploration, soul searching, and asking the hard questions.
With the goal of truly understanding the most aligned, empowered, and purposeful versions of ourselves.
We want to live an extraordinary life, and we're willing to dig deep to find out what it takes.
Buckle up. You're about to meet a new version of yourself, an extraordinary one. Hello, my friends. How are we? Happy December. Happy holiday season. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. We had a very low-key, intimate Thanksgiving, just the three of us, my husband and my 3-year-old and myself all weekend. Cooked food, hung out, did a lot of my daughters into crafts now and like making things, which really just results in a big mess, but at least it's a little bit of a distraction for a little bit. And so got a lot of quality time in. We went to the botanical gardens and saw this really cool light exhibit. Just easy and peaceful, and it felt really nice. So I hope your Thanksgiving was exactly what you needed. And if it wasn't, don't worry. Some lessons in there, right? And maybe it will be the last Thanksgiving that you do things in a way that didn't work for you. So we are in December. I'm recording this on December 3rd. This episode will launch tomorrow, December 4th. And I am here with your monthly update, a look ahead at the month, the themes, some things to think about. And I'm really excited. A lot of really good info is coming through. I don't know how you guys have been feeling, but I feel like the year is over. Like I clearly on the calendar, we still have a month, right? But really like even like the few days before Thanksgiving, it kind of felt like this is it. The year's done. We're now, like all of the, at least like the soul spiritual work that we were going to do. We did it. Damn. Did we do it? We'll talk about that more in a second, but like we did it. And now we're in this in-between time, which I think is always the case, whether we're fully ready to acknowledge it or not, the in-between time. And hopefully this year we can embrace it. I know I am. I feel like we're kind of in the middle. We have this really beautiful opportunity to almost pause and be in the center. Like this visual keeps coming in for me where it's like there's two lines, one on each side of us, and like we look one way and it's the past, we look the other way and it's the future, and we're just kind of in the middle, putting some finishing touches on things, making sense of all things, kind of preparing ourselves to fully step into that through that future door. So this month is very much that. It is the in-between time. And like I said, it's the in-between time in a really beautiful way. So kind of if any of you are still like trying to push and strive and like get a bunch of things done before the end of the year, that is not the vibe. That is going to cause frustration, and that's just not the vibe that the collective is feeling right now. So no one's really pushing, striving. Like we are in a very reflective period, and so do yourself a favor and get on board with reflecting. And I think that we are being given a few extra weeks to reflect because, man, one, we deserve it, but also, man, what a year it has been. It almost feels like we blinked and the year went by. And I know that's like a very adult thing to say, time feels like it goes faster and faster as you age. But like this year it really did. And if I think back on the person that I was this time last year, I'm proud of her. But I don't even know her. Like, I do not know her anymore in a really good, exciting, beautiful way. the shifts, the changes, the quantum leaps that happened this year are just like, whoa. And I've seen it for so many people in my world. I mean, all of my closest friends have had major, major life things happen this year, major decisions, um, major changes, major growth. It's been really beautiful. And I'm sure all of you listening have experienced that too. And that's why I love the opportunity to reflect. And reflecting is something that I have found to be very important in my spiritual practice. It's something that I kind of just got on board with this past year. We always like, I don't know how long you guys have been in this like wellness spiritual world. I think it's tamed down a bit, but it's like setting your intentions for the month, like was a huge thing for a few years where all the influencers would post, what they wrote down and what their intentions were for the month. And that is great, like looking ahead and setting goals. But I think there's a ton of value in reflecting. And I personally have found a ton of value in reflecting every month, not only setting the goals for the next month, but reflecting, what did I do this month? What did I actually accomplish? And not always accomplish of like the tasks that I'm marking off checking the boxes on, but like, how have I shifted and changed? Because this year for sure has been a year where I feel like every week, sometimes every day, I feel like a completely different person with a different perspective on life. And so reflection, embrace the reflection right now. Think about that girl, that person you were at this time last year, how you've changed, the actual goals you've accomplished, your mindset, how that's shifted, how many times you've had to show up for yourself this year to get to the place that you are right now. Maybe there's some little things that you always wanted to be better at that you did. Maybe there's something that you always wanted to quit and give up that you did. I gave up caffeine this year. I'm trying to think of what else. I feel like there was something else. I gave up alcohol 2 years ago, but there's real beauty in reflecting on those tiny moments and the tiny shifts that have really, like, as you add them up, they make a really big impact in your life. And when you're reflecting, I want you to do it in a way, like almost take note as if you're looking back on someone else's life and accomplishments in their year. And I think doing it from that perspective and that lens like allows us to be even more proud and cheer ourselves on and celebrate ourselves in a bigger way. Like imagine these are the accomplishments of your sister or your best friend or your child. Like how would you react to those? How would you celebrate those? And I want you to celebrate yourself as much as you would your dearest loved ones accomplishing these things. Because that's what you deserve. And we often have a hard time, patting ourselves on the back because there's always this bigger goal. There's always, we wish we had done it better. We wish we had done it sooner. And we talk to ourselves in ways we would never talk to someone that we love. So I want you to reflect. And I want you to reflect from the perspective that you're reflecting on someone else's life, someone that you love dearly, and you are so freaking proud and so ready to celebrate them. And you guys, I am proud. I'm proud of us. I'm proud of all of you listening who show up, even if you just show up you're showing up as listening to a podcast to see what you can learn, what expansive moments there might be to expand the way that you think in your perspective. Like that's enough. That's huge. That's more than some people are doing. And we all know, and we've talked about it so many times, there are so many. It's like the addition, the adding up, the layering of those expansive moments that create the change. So no matter what your year looked like, I am proud of you. I'm proud of us and grateful for this time to reflect and kind of like tidy up. It's like a time to, dust off the final cobwebs. It's like we're prepping for people to come over, we're just like emptying the last little bits of trash, cleaning off the dust in the random places that you would never look if, it was just you in the house, like the little, mopping the floor one last time. the lessons are learned. We don't need to, this is not a month or a time where like there's going to be a bunch of lessons or a bunch of peeling back or a bunch of hard. We've got them. And it's just this final little bit of like, yes, and thank you. Yes, that lesson has learned. I'm done with that one. Let's leave that here. Let's leave these things in the past and acknowledge, what am I taking with me? What have I learned from those things? What have I learned about myself and about the things I care about? And what am I taking with me? And leaving the rest behind. So reflection is a big theme and necessary for this time, but a few other themes came through that I'm really excited to share with you guys, because they're just like juicy and exciting and came through so clearly. That's another thing. If any of you are looking to connect to your intuition, feel like you have started to connect to your intuition this year, feel like you're connecting to guides or the quantum field or anything that's bigger than yourself, it is like, this is time to listen and engage in that. Like, I tap in the second I open my eyes. I'm feeling tapped in. The messages are coming through so clearly, so strongly right now. I'm sure it has something to do with something astrologically. I don't know. I can just tell you what I'm feeling and what I'm experiencing. And I am not special. This is not like the messages are coming through clearly and loudly just for me. It's a matter of, if you are willing to hear them, right now is the time you will hear them. Like, the access to the quantum field, to other levels of consciousness, is very easy to tap into right now. So if you feel called to do that, please do start to listen. And just by, I have a feeling, just by this process of reflection and kind of, again, like putting the things away and setting them in the past for a final time, you're going to clear enough space where you're going to start to hear, see, know things in a very different way. You're going to start to get messages. You're going to start to feel an undeniable connection to your intuition. So it's actually, well, we're not doing much right now. We're actually doing a lot. And this is a really important time. It's almost like, you know, when you do a yoga class and you have Savasana at the end where you're resting, and they're like, this, every yoga teacher will tell you Savasana is the most important part, because that's when everything is integrating. All the work that you've just done in that hour long yoga class is integrating and working through your body. And it's when your mind is, you know, a lot of yoga is actually just about doing these movements to bring space to clear your mind. And so it's when your mind is the clearest, it's when everything's integrating. And that's the month. That's December. We're in Savasana. So enjoy the hard work that you've done, and now allow your intuition to kind of take charge and integrate it all. Okay. So that's the big kind of overarching picture. But I have a couple themes that I want to share with you guys that came through very clearly. I have 4 themes. You know, when I ask for this information, I ask for it for the collective, but specifically for the people who are going to hear this message. So anyone who follows the podcast or follows me on social media. So if you're listening, these messages are for you. Of course, take what serves you and leave what doesn't. But it felt important. All 4 of them feel, you know, and I asked for no frills, no extras, like, let's just get to the point. So these feel important. They feel exciting. And I'm super excited to share them with you. Okay. Theme 1 for December is balance. This is a time to truly examine your life and what matters. Reflect on the things that mattered a year ago, but don't now. Reflect on the boundaries you set. Reflect on the perspective shifts that you've had. How has your perspective shifted to get you where you are in this exact moment? And what do you have left to shift to help bring true balance, clarity, and a sense of centeredness to your life? What are you leaving behind forever? that has kept you unbalanced, unclear, or doubting? All right. Theme 2, creativity. This is a fun one. Okay. Start to daydream about how you will bring more creativity into your life. What forms of self-expression are you being called to? And how do you want to start sharing them? Creativity feels like a very big theme for the new year. So what I'm saying right now is not like go take action on creative pursuits, but start to think about how you actually want to express yourself in the world. And this could be in a big way, or it could be in a small way. Your world can be whatever you want it to be, right? But creativity feels like a very important theme for 2025. And so this is kind of like the warm up to kind of daydreaming about it. What do you feel called to share with the world? And how do you want to share it? I want you to sit with that question over the course of the month. What do you feel called to share with the world? And how do you want to share it? And again, your world can be, it can mean different things. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be on this big public platform. What do you want to share publicly in a big platform that maybe impacts the collective? Or it can be within your household, within your family, within your community, whatever the world means to you. And this information will come to you very easily if you actually sit in silence and ask it. You'll know what the world means to you. So one more time, write this down if you have a chance, or put it in the notes in your phone. And when you're in your morning meditation or your routine, or just have a little bit of time for silence, or even a lot of times I like to ask these questions right before I fall asleep, knowing that obviously my brain's not going to come up with an answer because I'm falling asleep. And I get answers while I'm sleeping. It is wild, you guys, and I highly recommend trying it. Some people get messages and information in their sleep, some don't. I am one who definitely does. And so you may or may not know if you do, but it is, and maybe you'll just wake up with the answer. But here's the question again. What do you feel called to share with the world? And how do you want to share it? All right, that's the creativity theme. Theme 3. Remember who you are. Whew. Just saying that is like bringing a lot of emotion for me. It is certainly something I've been working on this year and God, probably for many, many years. And it is something I feel so strongly about empowering others to do and helping others to do. Remember who you are. We've worked all year on recognizing and removing conditioning and storylines. I know you guys have. I have. We've worked really hard. We've probably worked for multiple years, but this year felt like one where we really dug in. Now it's time to get acquainted with who you really are, without those impacting your actions, thoughts, and choices. Without that conditioning, without those stories, without those mistruths impacting your actions, thoughts, and choices. How freeing does that sound? And it is, let me tell you. I'm not perfect, but I feel I've experienced it, and it is very freeing. Who are you truly? We are all pure love and light. We are all pure love and light, and that is something to remember. You are good. You are pure. You are love and light at your core. You are love and light. Can you see it inside of yourself? Who are you really? Who are you really? I want you to sit with this and ask this many times. this month. And I would ideally say sit with it with a journal or with your voice recording open and record the answer. And the answer will start to shift as you can get out of your head. You know, who are you really? My guess is your first answers will be something about how your profession, maybe how you relate to the people around you, mother, wife, da 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 da. And that's fine. Go through that. Go through whatever comes up as you ask this, just write down and go through until you get to a place that feels like the truth. Remember who you are. And the task this month is to sit down in silence as many times as you can and ask yourself, who am I really? Who am I? Who am I? It sounds really fun to me. I've done this and I'm going to do it again because the other thing is this answer changes. It changes, and that's a beautiful thing. Like, it changes as we change, and we are constantly evolving. So feel free to hit me up on Instagram and share your answers with me, because I want to know. I want to know. And if you struggle with this could be a fun thing to do with a partner or a friend too. Ask them how they see you and do the same for them. And I think this could be a really fun conversation and a really good exercise that could bring a partnership closer. All right, theme 3, remember who you are. And our final theme number 4 for the month of December, prepare for clarity. How lovely does that sound? It sounds like a breath of fresh air. Prepare for clarity. Great. What does that mean? Use this time to get clear and clean through the final cobwebs. Don't push for answers or rush to any strong conclusions this month. The truth and true clarity are coming, and they will feel undeniable. You will know. You will know when they have arrived. The truth will not. Like, it will be undeniable. Clarity in the truth. And so do not make any big decisions or strong conclusions, strong actions this month. You're just kind of, like I said, mopping the floor, emptying the final trash, like doing the final little tasks to prepare for what feels like has the potential to be a very big year. And we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. We will get into that. But let me say that again. Like, do not push for the answers or action or anything like that this month. Clarity is coming. And when it hits you, when it arrives, there will be no confusion. It will be so clear. Clarity will be so clear. It will be so obvious and undeniable. Use this time to wrap things up and create the space and skills to hear the messages that are coming for you. That is a really important piece of this. What we are doing is clearing space, making space, clearing the noise, quieting the stories. Like, it is it is all about the space to give us the ability to reconnect to what's really important, which is ourselves. And through that reconnection to ourselves, we reconnect to our intuition, we reconnect to our knowing, we reconnect to clarity, we reconnect to our purpose and our mission, and we are in flow. And that is what's coming for us. Flow, peace, freedom, connection to our truth and to ourselves. And you can't rush that. And you don't get to pick. You just get to do the work to show up, to make sure that you are ready and available for those truths, those answers, that connection when it comes. A final note on this one. True clarity is just around the corner. It really is, you guys. It really is. And I say that for you, and I say that for myself too, because I have been in a pattern being a business owner where the end of the year just is always such a scramble. It's like all the things you didn't accomplish in the year, you're trying to scramble and make good on. You're trying to prep for next year. It's like everything's happening all at once. And let me tell you, it actually is never productive. And it's like just treading water in a really chaotic, unproductive way. And you're just exhausted by the end and so happy the year's done, and you don't have the energy to reflect. You don't have the energy to set intentions. Like, that is not what we're doing this year. That pattern is done. We've moved on from it, right? Like, this is our time. This is our time to integrate. This is our time to do our final releases, tuck away the things that we're leaving in the past, give ourselves the pat on the back, celebrate ourselves. This is our Savasana. And we deserve it. We so deserve it. Yeah. I love you all. I'm so proud of you. We made it. We made it through a really big year. And big, good, expansive things are coming for all of us. And it is really exciting. And you will be so grateful to yourself for the work that you put in this year. So rest up, reflect, pat yourselves on the back. Happy December, my friends. I love you.